The foolishness of the left is very real. Mamdani, instead of thanking his voters and being positive, had a fist clenching session telling Trump to turn on the volume, provoking him, saying he's going to provide free buses and freezing on rent and stuff like that. Mamdani has all the makings of a dictator. They make no mistake about it. And the fools in New York that voted for him get what they deserve. And what they need to do in this country is put all the Muslims in New York City, get all the good people out. No trucks will be allowed to come in. And we'll see how long they can run the show. They want to blast free enterprise. They want to blast billionaires. But Islam has contributed nothing to the world but violence, mayhem, tears, and suffering, and deaths, and damage. And I'm going to say that. Islam has brought nothing good into the world at all, ever. You stop and think about that. Name good things that Islam brought into the world. Name it. You can talk about Dubai. Dubai is a product of American consumerism gone amok. Our glut for oil. And the clowns don't want to drill here. They'd rather buy it from the Middle East, giving sheiks the right to go Bugattis and Lamborghinis and $1 million cars. I'm sorry, but America, we are our own worst enemy. We played footsie with trading with China and other countries. We should have had a pair of balls and said, we're not buying products in China. They're a communist nation. Boom. We should have kept American businesses and jobs here. We should have kept illegals out. We should have told Islamics, you can move to the U.S., but you will not build a mosque and you will not take over. You don't allow Christianity in your countries. We will not allow Islam in ours. That's not a violation of rights. That's fair as, play fair, says the hare. But the stupidity of Mamdani thinking that he's going to pull this off. Clearly, he's goaded by the devil. The arrogance, and I've said this before, the arrogance of my trolls, the arrogance of people who attack me, the arrogance of these liberal left leaders proves that they're blind because they're so puffed up. The devil said, I shall be like the Most High. Mamdani thinks he's going to be like the Most High. All these trolls, all these people think that they're just awesome sauce and everything else. You're deluded. The Bible says that we're supposed to be aware of the truth. We're supposed to be sober-minded. We're supposed to be humble. People that are arrogant are very hard to work with. They're very hard to deal with in a church setting, a college setting, anywhere at all. And this is the world we're living in, folks. Look at the pride, the left, no shame. No conviction that what they are doing is totally wrong to the people. Nothing. And that needs to be stated loud and clear. And it needs to be stated to every American. Socialism and Islam have never brought good stuff to anybody. Hello, plebeians, how are you? Socialism and Islam has never brought improvements, betterments, manners, production, jobs, or anything in society. Mamdani is a walking fool. Fails to look at the USSR, a mighty empire, now reduced to just Russia. And that's why they want Ukraine. They want to bring the iron fist back again. And how about Kim Jong-un? He's a dictator. How's that working out for him? The lion's share of his people in starvation and disgusting poverty that the U.S. has never seen. How about Xi Jinping in China? Oh, we like all those little video shorts with that instrumental music showing the beautiful buildings of Beijing and Shanghai. Hey, content creators, why don't you get a visa and go deep into China and see the reality? Those are front cities. Those are false advertisement cities. Those are the look at China and how beautiful it is. Go into those areas you're not allowed to go in and see how people are living. Slave camps. Yeah. Communism's good, huh? If you notice, people try to escape socialist countries. People don't escape freedom. These Democrats that complain that Republicans and Trump are oppressive and Nazi, have they left? Have they left? Flea mixed bananas are awesome, man. Folks, we need to realize something. Lies are on the throne in America today. Ma'am Dammy fails to realize Islam is not a religion of peace. It is not a religion that promises eternal life or heaven. It is not a religion that promises forgiveness of sins. It is not a religion that promises that they have a loving Heavenly Father that will provide their needs. It's a violent, evil belief system. And you mix that with communism, you got to be kidding me. He says free buses. Hey, clown, who pays for that? Our taxes. Communism is a lie. It puts people like Ma'am Dammy at the top of the Amway scheme while getting everybody else to believe that this is good for them while they live in poverty and stand in line in former USSR waiting for a potato. Those that don't learn from history are destined to repeat it. And here we go. Grab your bucket of popcorn and watch New York City. Investors are pulling out. People are breaking their leases and they're saying, bye. Hello, Franny. That's, I knew a woman years ago, Listio Ningse. She lived in Tangerang, Indonesia. She started writing to me on Mate 1 about the same time that I was chasing after Beth. Muslim Indonesian gal. Cute. She wrote me the most powerful, beautiful email that if I was to go on that alone, my gosh, I've never had a letter written like that to me ever. It was extremely moving. I said, I cannot go after you because you're Islam and I'm a Christian. I understand it's okay. I said, well, it isn't. Years went by. She married a guy from Britain, moved to Britain. Something happened in the news and I posted something on my Facebook page. I said, Islam is not the truth. Islam is a wicked, evil, violent religion. Listy posted my name on her Facebook and cussed me out. That's interesting. You just verified what I said. It is not a religion of peace. What are people in America thinking that vote this in? What are they truly thinking? It's like they want to destroy things. Why? Because they're bored with their lives. You got a young generation of entitled little brats. Let's admit it, life is expensive. But I'm living proof. You can get a job. You can discipline yourself. You can put your faith and trust in God, and God will provide. But when you make the government your sugar daddy and you think everybody owes you something, you are the problem. Get a job. Move out of your mommy's basement. Stop trolling everybody online and stop believing that we, the hardworking people, because it will always be the hardworking people that fund this sorry garbage socialism. Never forget that. Socialism is always funded by the working class people. Ma'am Demi ain't paying for it. Obama's not paying for it. The Democrats have got billions and billions and billions of dollars of their own money and properties. They're not going to pay for it. They're going to live like kings. Man, young people, read the book Animal Farm and pull your heads out of your butts. Hello, Hatfield. Read Animal Farm by George Orwell. Read about the pigs. Took it upon themselves to move into the farmhouse. Didn't do one day of hard work ever. Animal Farm is exactly how communism/socialism works. It is devoid of God. Communism has always been started by atheists. Ma'am Dami claims to be a Muslim. Well, what does Islam have in common with atheism? They're both going to hell. They're both false belief systems. They deny the only God. The Shema, the Lord our God, He is one. There is no other God, people. There is only the Lord Jesus Christ. That's it. I am concerned. I am concerned. Too many conservatives are worried about how great, Sydney Sweeney looks with her fake breasts stuffed in a shirt and blue jeans. Hey, boys, calm down. There's a lot of women out there that look good in blue jeans. Black, Asian, Hispanic, white. Look around. Sweeney's not the only one out there. Get over your simpy selves. We got problems. One of the reasons the Republican Party has been a fail is because we act timid. The Democrats are loud. They're a loud, clanging gong. They're like the baby in the room that gets attention. You're at church, you're trying to hear a sermon, and somewhere in the church, well, there goes my concentration. Get that kid out of here. If conservatives and God-fearing people would be as militant as Islamic, Democrats, LGBT, pro-socialists, atheists, wow. Can you imagine the difference? But no, we're mamby-pamby, we're wussy. We don't want to offend anybody. We want to make the gospel attractive. Yep, saying nothing, building your little comfort zone world. Yeah, I know what's going on. Worried about coming into church, sipping our latte in the choir. It's sick. Where's the discipline? Wearing your ball cap in church. Take your hat off, kid. You're in church. Take it off. We come to God and we get butthurt and offended. We don't like the church. We don't like this. We don't want to hear the truth. We don't play silly little music. And we wonder why the church is evaporating in America. Why big box churches and elevation and false preachers that are cashing in. Cashing in. I'm trying to get Southern Blue Eyes to let me know if she has a Cash App. She messaged me on one of my videos saying that Monday her power is going to be turned off. If she can give me a Cash App, I'd really like to see us viewers pony it up enough collectively to give her something so she can pay her power bill. Now, I don't believe we should do this all the time, but I want us to try to show our viewers that we care. I don't believe in socialism, but as a Christian, we need to help people that are struggling. I don't know all her details, but I think we can pull this off. Let me know if anybody's with me on it. Should I get a Cash App? I'm going to post it on my post, and we'll all donate. I want us to be involved in that. That's right, Susie, and welcome. That's good, Tarek. Hey, Sam, how are you? Good morning, everybody. Showing off her truck. Franny's showing off her wheels. I hope it isn't a money scam, Kenneth. That's why we do this once. But we'll see if she has a cash app. We'll go from there. You know, if the bill's $9,000, I think we're going to have a problem. But she's a woman. I believe she's got a kid. And I don't want people to be out lots of money, but I want us to help people that we know on occasion. I want our channel to set a precedent that we care, that we're not going to be scammed. We see things that are contrary, you give once, you don't give it again. And people have to find out a solution to their problem because we can't keep funding this, but we can help somebody. Just like I said about welfare, it's not a handout, it's supposed to be a help out to get you up to the next foothold on the mountain of climbing your life. Otherwise, you make it dependent. Thank you, Kenneth. Well, Hatfield, as soon as I get a Cash App on her, I'll post it in the room, and I'd like to see everybody step up on that. It's snowing in Maine, folks. You got undercoating on your truck up there, Franny? Did you slove your puzzle? I'm not done, Sam, but I love it, yes. How are you, Sam? Rain in New Hampshire. So the temperature is right on the edge. Is it really wet snow? Yeah, Franny, you got to do that up there. I do not like the fact they use salt and corrosives on the road. That should be illegal because of the cost of automobiles. Democrats talk about recycling and saving the planet. How's it saving the planet when they put salt that destroys our cars and trucks that could last 20 years longer if you didn't put that crap down and rust everything out? Franny got you. You're on the mountain. Sam, you better eat something, man. Hey, Sam, what are those India things? And Nepal eat them too. What are they? They're shaped like a triangle. What are those called? Those are so good. An India lady made some for me. Her son rode my bus in Denver, and oh my gosh, were they good. What are those called? Good morning, Cheryl. It's beginning to look a lot like winter, with snow falling in Maine. Shell and Franny dressed like polar bears. Hi, Sharon. Welcome. How are you? I did that yesterday, Sam. Pulled up my area rugs in my bedroom and swept and bleach mop. Got some molding done, cleaned up the yard again. My trash went up to $375 a year, and I'm like, I'll be ding danged. I'm going to fill that can every day then. Even if it weighs a ton. All my yard stuff is going in the trash. I refuse to do dump runs. All the major work is done. And I got rid of the biggest messy trees, so once a week, weather permitting, I rake up the needles and the leaves that blow in from everywhere else. Fill the can. Sam, yeah, I forgot what they were called. Cheryl, I'm sorry. If I was there, I'd give you a nice scalp rub. I'm good at that. Don't we all need somebody just, not sexual, but just to touch and be touched? Massage. The power of touch is healing. The power of touch is absolutely healing. And it's not always about sex. Friendly touch. 5 hugs a day. Well, let's see. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 at the flea market yesterday, so almost tanked up. The one gal, she's so nice to me. I'm not attracted to her, but she doesn't like to wear a bra, and when she gives me a hug, she presses those right into my chest, and that's kind of nice. The other one's the black woman who's 65, and you wouldn't know it. She's working a plot of land and running a community farm, plus her business. She sells tinctures, and her daughter makes handmade soap. And she's got those gourds with the holes drilled through them, painted brightly. She's got antiques in there. She's very eclectic. I like seeing her just because you walk into her place there, and I'm like, you got such cool stuff in here. No, none of them have eyes on me that way. The eclectic black lady, we were talking about relationships, she said, I don't even want somebody. She said, I'm so busy. I don't own my own place. I did everything for my daughter. My daughter wants to pull out of this business, and I told her, think on that before you decide to turn it all over to me. She goes, I wanted my daughter to succeed, and she's been good to let me live in her place, but I'm ready to move on. She goes, I had a man a long time ago, but it's so much work, and it's just so much, and cheated on me, and she said, I can take care of my sexual needs myself. I said, we all can, honey, meaning self-pleasure. And I appreciate people that I see on Saturday. We can have conversations. I talked to the cross-dresser. He wasn't a cross-dresser. He's 69. And people are stopping and buying art from him. He's got metal signs. He's got art that he actually makes. And he's got a black light. And wow, the art stands out. He's like a throwback from the 60s. Welcome to Weed, Elevation 420. Sheesh. A lot of stuff I wouldn't buy. Then he had some metal ones with a gal standing in a low-cut bra. And I'm like, I think for $15 for the metal. I said, not right now. When I get a little more ahead, I'd like to buy a couple of those. Those are nice. But I talked to him. I said, so how's your wife going with your changing over? He goes, I'm not going to get rid of my male equipment. And it's funny because he told me that he doesn't do anything, but then the lady friend down over the next building said, she mentioned my name. She goes, yeah, he's saying he's gay. I said, no, he told me. She goes, no, he told me he's gay. I said, huh, interesting. But he said he loved his wife, and his wife kissed him and hugged him the other day, and she was a major in the Army. I was like, oh my. I like to talk to people to find out what's going through their brain. That's a gift I have. I ask them questions like an investigative reporter, not interrogate, but I draw them out. Why are you doing this? I said, does it turn you on wearing women's clothes? He goes, it used to, but I've gotten so used to it, it doesn't anymore. I would like to be like Charles Kuralt. I wanted so bad, especially with the black woman with the Rastafarian hair. She's got white in it now. She had the dreadlocks, the thick dreadlocks. And I wanted so bad to turn on a video and just have her and I chatting. You guys would have been fascinated with her. But to me, it's intrusive. I don't want to go around, hey, can I do a video of us? People get funny about that. But I wish I could. I wish I could spotlight people. Just let them say what they say. Show a cross-section of this country. And get people to try to have understanding. Neeks! How's Neeks doing? I drive an old cop car. That's funny. Yeah, I guess everybody want to see my aging body. Everybody want to look at my body. I'm dressed provocatively today. Looks like I'm into BDSM. I actually am not into that. I like the chain, but I don't believe in tying up people and doing strange and unusual things like that. I'm very sensual. I like to just look at a woman like art and touch her and feel her and trace the outline of her breasts. And yeah, I gotta stop because we're not doing Harlequin romance today. Neeks, thank you for getting me thinking. In your comment on Discord. The reason I have such a struggle with lust and sin, and specifically eroticism, people that are very erotic are very passionate. People that have no sex drive, people that are very rigid, and sex doesn't mean anything to them, are not the kind of people that most of us want to hang out with. You see a lot of that in the church. You see that with a guy I'm working with. He's so rigid. There's all this work that needs to be done. Nobody's working as hard as I'm working as hard as you are, but I don't work in your department. Stop the grandstanding. And it dawned on me, you don't like what you do. When I started working at this place and I looked at all the products sitting in the aisles and stuff, I said, we'll never be caught up here. Do 8 hours of work and go home. It's not my job to turn this place around. I'm going to make a difference as much as I can. And when that 5 o'clock bell rings, I'm out of there. This is a job I don't take home now. It's not like driving the bus where these kids make you not want to get on the bus, where they're nasty and threatening and starting fights. You just like, who wants to do that? This job, I do a productive day, squared. And I'm going to say something. That's great if you don't have a sex drive. That's awesome if you don't struggle with that. Then I had to learn the hard way, because I'm kind of stupid, that you don't broadcast your flaws to other people, especially in a church. You do not always go to your pastor or leadership. They're human just like you, and they may use it against you. They may distance themselves from you. Let there be mystique. Women say they like mystery. Keep enough of your life compartmentalized with a big vault door that they can see the vault door. Because women will go, oh, I want to know what's behind that door. Well, don't you, honey? The only way you're going to know behind that door is if I let you in the inner sanctum. Till then, you're out there. You're in the bank lobby. You don't get to come into the vault room. We can do transactions. Hi, how you doing today? I'm doing well. Well, that's good. You're fake and corporate. Get out of here. You got to the count of 10 to get your ugly yellow keister off of my property. I love that in Home Alone. That guy always hit the statue and knocked it over. You think about that. That damn kid was smart. Using Legos and marbles to thwart those burglars. You know, we get intimidated by our enemies. David was a ruddy complected boy. And his brother said, what are you doing down here? Who is this that's defying God? What, you come down here to laugh? His brothers didn't like it. His brothers were mighty warriors, but guess what? This ruddy complected boy, who was probably somewhat naive, but he had faith, he said, he went to, what's his name? Saul. I want to take this guy on. And Saul said, here, let me give you my chainmail. And he said, this is too heavy for me. I can't wear this stuff. So here goes David like a schoolboy with a sling full of what? You notice there are 5 or 6 stones? Why 5 or 6? Some Bible preacher years ago said there was significance to that. But he swung that baby. And that big Goliath, right here. One chink in the armor. You think God didn't direct that? That stone sunk into his forehead. Enough to hit the front lobe of the brain and then Saul had a tizzy fit when the women started dancing and prancing. Saul has slain thousands, but David is 10,000s. Now we got the jealousy. God can use simple things to befuddle a clown. You don't need battleships and 6 guns and 19-inch deck guns. You just need God on your side. You know what I mean? I like snacking and I cannot lie. I wish Neeks would come here. That's not just an alibi. I'll feed her to her face and kissy kissy too. I'm such a naughty little flirt. Don't you want to be one too? I think everybody likes munching. You know what I don't like to do? I was in the room the other day at work. They had a Thanksgiving meal for us. We have what's called First Fridays. Our supervisor will grill, set up the barbecue, and he said, I did this to try to get the office and warehouse together because there's this big gap. You know, people in the offices that got the so-called experience and college degrees don't usually know what the peon class of us workers is doing. They tend to talk down any place. I'm not saying this place, but any place. Y'all have noticed you've had bosses come in. I think of Mr. E-Rock. Well, thank you, Neeks. The poet didn't even know it, and you bring it out of me. Something about these women in here. They just bring it out. I have the time of my life, always thinking about you. And I swear, come into my house. The lights go out and hands begin to roam. Oh, we better stop. Do I put chips in my pocket? No. Man, there was a man that I worked with, drove bus years ago, and he put chicken in his jacket pocket. They'd have the last day before school got out with a holiday, and they'd fix, Thanksgiving dinners and stuff, and people could take extra, and he'd put a chicken wing in his pocket. Like, yuck. I don't put food in my pocket. The only thing I put in my pocket is some of those ginger chews. Elizabeth, we talk about everything here. We have a community of people that are outstanding, and sometimes we just talk. I started off talking about the communist Muslim that won the New York mayoral election and how detrimental that is. How it's very depressing to know that there's dumb voters in this country that think that communism and Islam is a good thing for America. It does not belong here. Does not. Absolutely does not. How many kids you got, Neeks? I thought you just had a daughter. We call those little Neeks uniques. Well, thank you, Elizabeth. Sometimes we light it up in here. Sometimes we have trolls that I get up in their face, but most of the time we just have fun. I look like I should be a gym instructor. All right, folks. Elizabeth, if I may, what state are you in? I'm in Georgia. Minnesota. I used to live in Duluth, Hibbing, and Virginia, Minnesota. Drove the school bus in Duluth, drove the school bus in Hibbing, left in 2008 to move to Washington, and then ultimately to Hong Kong, and all over the place. It's just snowing up there. It's snowing up in Maine. We got two ladies from Maine in here today. We got Cheryl and Franny, both the Maine event. They said it's snowing up there. I remember being in Duluth. Legend lives on from the Chippewa on down on the big lake they call Get You Going. With a load of iron ore, 26,000 tons more than the Edmund Fitzgerald weighed empty. I'll never forget the big lake. Snowing in Wisconsin. Yeah, but Duluth never seemed to get lake effect like Michigan, Buffalo. But boy, they'd get that wind. They'd get that wind up there. Mark, I love Gordon Lightfoot. It was sad he passed away over a year ago. He was legendary. I can see her lying back in her satin dress in a room where you do what you don't confess. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs. Love that song. Hi, Mrs. E-Rock. Where's the hubby? I know you guys are going to church today, so am I. I like, if you could read my mind, love, what a story my thoughts would tell. Erica, how are you? Yep, Cheryl, they can't do that. That goes to the U.S. Supreme Court. Mandami's going to get slapped around me, and he should. We need an amendment to the Constitution that if you're not born in this country, you cannot take office. Number one, we also need an amendment. We will not allow Islam to hold position at all. Islam is not just another religion, folks. Ask Ilhan Omar or Rashida Tlaib. It's not just another religion. They are divide and conquer. They are, we will be supreme. All that convert not to Allah slay. Slay the infidel wheresoever you find him. It says that in the Quran. It says it. Yes, Mark. The Fitzgerald is a fascinating. The Duluth Marine Museum has a wreck model of it sitting on the bottom of Lake Superior. The ship broke in half and the stern section turned completely upside down and fell on its superstructure. What a violent way that thing went down. They said there were up to 45-foot waves that night. My landlord, now deceased, when I rented 1 West 4th Street on Lake and 4th in Duluth, I had a bird's eye view out my small front window straight down Lake Avenue, looking at the lighthouse and the Duluth Ship Canal. My landlord, Chuck Montgomery, informed me he was on the Arthur M. Anderson, which is still sailing, the ship that was 15 miles behind her in the same storm. What happened to the Fitz? The Anderson was in the same storm. It didn't break in half. And then the Coast Guard asked them if they could circle around in that storm to see if they found the freighter. No, you're not going to find it. She's gone. Yeah, and they all voted in Ilhan Omar. That's because Minneapolis was friendly to Somalis and let them come over as refugees, and they got a huge populace of them. And I heard they're a bit of a problem with the police and everybody else. Minneapolis ain't Minneapolis no more, folks. I'm sorry to sound like I'm being racist, but there's some cultures that don't belong here. You know, if I'm going to live a Middle East culture, I have to go over there and realize that most of that culture is not my cup of tea. These people get the gift to come over here and they want to turn our culture upside down, and they leave their crappy country and they want to bring their crappy ways over here. And that makes sense. How? Buying up businesses and real estate. Like I said in my 3-minute video the other, or not my 3-minute, but my rant with no chat. They start in concentric circles. They get control of an area and they start moving out. They build a mosque, they build schools. People see these Muslims taking over, they get out. That happened in London. Now they call it Londonistan. There's entire neighborhoods taken over by Muslims, and there was a YouTube artist who went to his childhood home. All he did was drive up an intersection. There were Muslims everywhere, and a guy tried to punch him in the face at a stoplight. Tell him you don't belong there. Look what's happening in Dearborn, Michigan. That lousy governor up there, Whitmer, but they got a mayor that's Muslim. And Dearborn, their mosque is playing prayer calls at 5 in the morning, disturbing the neighborhood. That's crazy. I wouldn't doubt it, Sharon. I wouldn't doubt it at all. Hi, Chelsea. I am not against the fact there's other cultures out there. But it's like when I lived in Hong Kong, when I had my M35A2. Would Hong Kong tolerate that? Me driving my military deuce and a half down the street, flying the American flag, tying up traffic? No, I don't think so. And these cultures park themselves in the middle of an American freeway and expect all of us to go around them. No, this is America. This is the way we do things over here. Wow, Elizabeth, that's interesting. Man, I'd be telling somebody to get a gun and aim for the speaker. Shoot that thing. You can't do that because guess what? You'll get in trouble. If they can do that, I think every church in the neighborhood ought to play on blast. Jesus is Lord, there is no other God. Watch what happens. Watch the people complain. The city will tell the churches you can't do that. Well, then shut down that crap coming from the mosque. I remember I went to a Baptist church in Wheat Ridge, Colorado, and they had a bell tower, and it wasn't loud at all. I've heard church bell towers, you can hear them all over town. This one was muted. And neighbors could complain about ringing at 9, 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Like, oh my gosh. Neighborhood I live in, you got some clowns that live on the next street over. Boom, boom. They don't do anything about that. But if they complain about a church bell, oh, everybody's all over it. But then this Islam thing, they even said, city council said this is a violation of the noise ordinance. The mayor doesn't care and nothing's changing. Do they really, Elizabeth? Wow. Yeah, that and the gas stations. And are you ready for this? The India guys own them here. I think they get, 3 years or 7 years without being taxed. And you know what they're doing? They'll run it for 7 years and they'll walk away from it. We got a Texaco station. I got gas at because it was cheap. Guy closed the store and left. He got to the end of his thing. Isn't that nice? They get all these breaks that we don't get. Try to start a business in America. It will tax the poo out of you. Our system doesn't work in favor of us, folks. It's time for us to realize that. And it's sad. It's not right. Of course, they did it on the hush-hush, Elizabeth. Oh, no, it's closed. It's boarded up. Perfectly fine working gas station. Well, who owns the thing? That's crazy. I want my cheap gas, darn it. Yep, mom and pop places, it's not right. Yeah, it went up 10 cents in the last week. It was $2.66 a gallon over at Raceway. And then I saw yesterday it's $2.76. Why does this stuff bounce around so much? You always notice how they get us right at Memorial Day? Oh, here comes summer. The gas went up. That's why the Democrats wanted electric cars. They don't like us having this kind of freedom. You got people in this country that are filthy rich, got mansions, worth $1 billion, but they don't want us to be where they are. They don't want us to have the freedom that they have. When you are a Christian, you want to bless and help others do better. We're not supposed to be laden down with petty jealousy. Yeah, Fat, you're absolutely right. I remember in the 70s when OPEC, I remember my grandmother writing me letters from her 1960s Rambler gold station wagon with curb feelers, waiting for her appointed day, odd ending license plates versus even ending in LA, waiting to get her gas. I remember that well. I've wondered that too, Carol. The trucks do not come to the stations every day. And they actually did a documentary years ago. Was it in Denver? They followed a fuel tanker. They said it delivered fuel to several stations, and each station had different prices. And they're going, why? Duluth is interesting. All the gas stations are set at exactly the same price. People complained about price fixing. I think it was Channel 10 News with once Dennis Anderson said they did a study and found out they were not price fixing. But yet on Park Point, I think they had, what was it? An ICO gas station, Inner City Oil. They deliver fuel oil to your homes that got the old fuel oil boilers. I had one up in Virginia, Minnesota, 300-gallon tank down in the basement. And they were a penny cheaper. The only one. Really, Carol? Wow. I didn't know they did gas rationing up there in Maine. I thought that was just like in Los Angeles and stuff. The bigger cities. Time to make some breakfast. Oh boy. Elizabeth, I'm glad you came to the channel. Never a dull moment here. I'm sorry, I want the Minneapolis back that had Mary Tyler Moore and good stuff. I don't like what's happened to this world. Don't like it. She leads a lonely life. Yeah, look at that. It's supposed to rain today. I see the sun is out. The weather around here usually gets it wrong. That is awesome. My one Charlie Brown tree has lost all of its leaves. I almost cut that down after I had the big oak removed. I still praise God I got that oak removed the spring before Helene. That would have been on my house, all 3 feet diameter of it, and crushed it. Every big oak in this neighborhood went down. Every one. And all the other types of trees as well. I still cannot believe that a little over a year ago, this neighborhood looked like a war zone. I want to show you something, Elizabeth. Check this out. My front porch. I built it where it looks like framing. This is what it looked like after Helene came through. Looking out my front porch. Can't see the street or my fence. That was one of the oaks that was healthy. Came down and just missed the house. I cleaned up all of that by myself. The only thing I had done, I hired out, was a guy to cut up the trunk. I took a handsaw and spent 8 hours on Friday. The hurricane pretty much wrapped it up by 7 a.m. 106-mile-an-hour winds, and we were in the eye wall in Augusta, which has never happened before. Never. This city lost so many trees. And this was a house on the other side of town that an oak fell and split it in half. That is a brick. That is an upper end home. Went right through the roof, right through the attic, right through the ceiling, crushing the bricks over the front door. Oh gosh, the oak will dull a saw right now. I got an electric chainsaw and I was trying to cut up the stump I pulled out of the ground with the deuce. I need to get that done because when I moved it, because of the fences and stuff, I wasn't able to move it over for the right because the truck had to go, limited by my fences. I can't turn and pull it, and get it out of the way. I can back in, but it's kind of an annoyance. I want to just set it on fire, but I wish it was in the backyard, then I could just burn it. But it's too close to the other tree. And this is my kitchen that I've remodeled this house. All the woodwork, ceiling, that door, everything I put in myself. That knotty pine was in the house, but I pulled it out, salvaged it, had some rot on the bottom ends where it hit the floor. The other side was scratched up real good. Hi, Ann. You don't think about these trees until they fall. I love trees. I love them. They provide shade. When I got rid of the big trees around my house, and the AC's running more because now I have direct sun hitting it. Hello, Jess. Hello, Pierce. Mr. E-Rock. Johan. All the troops have come. Yes. I need to get to the Dollar Tree and get my chips before church. Have my oatmeal. Instant oatmeal. 2 minutes is not instant. That's the kind of society we live in now. Things aren't fast enough for us. Thank you, Erica. Oh man, every time I was digging in this yard, I was hitting roots. Then when the fence came down, they had all these little stumps. I noticed these roots that come off some of these trees will sprout other damn trees. So I got my pickaxe and I started digging around all them stumps. Man, I had to disconnect like 20 roots on these things. I got them all up. Now no more trees grow on the fence. The Charlie Brown tree is healthy, and when it bloomed, I said, wow, that looks good. I'm gonna keep that. It's far enough from the house, it's a non-issue. That's right. And if you live in the mountains, you need a fire zone around your house. That's just a given. That is just a given. This is the Aldi cheese. I love this stuff. Tina got me turned on to that when she was living here. School teacher that rented here. Very awesome. I miss having her. It was nice to have somebody in here. Very hard to get good roommates. She was exemplary. Yeah. I was hired to work for a guy in the Magnolia area in Colorado outside of Boulder. The Forest Service was telling people to start doing a burn mitigation perimeter around their homes and acreage. Too many trees right up to the eaves of the house. Pine trees go up like a matchstick. I've seen it. I've watched them. That fire hits it and it just goes whoosh. Something in them needles, man. They're like a torch. Oh, Magnolia is a place in Colorado. They don't have those out here. They got them in the neighborhood here. The thing I don't like about the Magnolia is they got them thick, waxy leaves. They're so huge. They blow down from one of the neighbors into my yard sometimes. Not bad, but... Put a little butter on my oatmeal. Elizabeth, are you still here? She probably left. We always like newcomers. We've been getting subscribers slowly, daily. Not as fast as it was in the beginning. The channel's been launched, enough time has gone by that we're easing into things. We don't get all the drive-by people looking and talking about my clothing anymore like we used to. Now they got other things to go after. The toilet seat channel, the running the shower, jump, 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 the ooh-woo, ee-woo. Man, the trolls got overtime with channels that make mine look tame. Hello, Meme Galto. Yep, redwoods, I believe, are only in California. And termites stay away from redwood and cedars. Though the Terminix guy told me they will get into those if there's no other wood. I don't know, my grandmother never had pest control on her house and the termites didn't touch it, and it was redwood framed. Yeah, Meme, where have you been, man? Hello, KJ. Well, come on over and see me, KJ. I'm always open for safe visitors. Yeah, Georgia's Georgia. I mean, this is where God has me, so I've learned to just accept God's taking care of me, and that's all that matters. But I will tell you something, a desert can be an oasis if you have community. If you have community, and you have a good church, and people love and care about you, have passion for God and each other, a desert can be a beautiful place to live. It really is not the place, it's the people that make it or break it. I truly believe that. I mean, look at Boston. You got the Atlantic, you got Cape Cod, you got beautiful places like Seattle and Portland, and it's dominated by leftist politics. No thanks. And you notice that the Democrats hogged all the beautiful places. They're so This is what kills me about Democrats. They're pro-socialist, but look at the cities they moved into. They're cost prohibitive. Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine that. I mean, the hypocrisy of the left is so self-evident. Just ridiculous. But hey, we're going to vote in a communist because, that's good for the people. And Islam, that's a nice little onion layer over that. A communist Muslim. It's interesting to notice that Ezekiel 38 and 39, when Gog and Magog, which is Russia, comes after Israel in the latter days, it's all Muslim nations that are going to be wrapped up with that. So, yeah, fun. And God's going to end that once and for all when they do. That will be a fun day for the Islamic community. They will be destroyed, finally. I don't have sympathy for Islamics. They're violent, and they're not good. Meme, I'm glad you came in. Culpepper. Cheryl, what are you talking? Are you talking about my room? Was Charlie Kirk against Israel? Or is that media falsehoods? I don't know enough about that to weigh in. I don't support people that take the anti-Israeli stance. I'm not a Palestinian sympathizer at all. They have been doing things for decades. Again, the young generation that doesn't pay attention to facts and history have no idea what the Palestinians have been doing since I came into the world. They've been doing things to Israel that have not been nice, ever. Terrorist attacks, Molotovs. They put their children in front of them. They put their children in front of their fighters, and they stand with their children in front of them firing at Israel, and Israel shows restraint, and they finally fire something over, and a Palestinian child gets killed, and this was going on in the 80s and the 70s, and they've been doing this, showing you that Islam is a false religion. Why would you use your children as human shields? Because if Israel finally reacts to the crap that Palestine's dishing out and a child gets killed, the American liberal media says, look at what Israel, they killed children. Democrats. Going into the backpack on a bus in Haifa or Tel Aviv or a mall, children are killed by Palestinian terrorists all the time, and you don't say a word about that. Shut your mouth and get your facts straight. Israel has been not the aggressor, but the bullied. And they had every right to stand up to that October date, whatever that was. That was crazy. They had no right to come in and do that. None. I don't feel sorry for Palestine. That land was originally promised to the Jews under the 1948 agreement to let the Israelites return to their land. And it was because God gave it to them. Well, the Palestinians, nothing. They shouldn't even be there. If Abraham and Sarah obeyed God, but instead she disobeyed, gave her handmaid for Abraham to have some fun for a night, and had a son, Ishmael, and that has been the problem ever since. So they don't have a right to the land that was promised by God to Israel. And Gaza was part of that. And then the UN reneged on that. Yasser Arafat, the PLO, moved all of the less than desirables to the Gaza Strip to create a political football. That's a fact. Check it out. Candace Owens is anti-Israel. She is very anti-Israel. She's a Catholic. The Catholic has a pretty much anti-Israeli stance. It's interesting. Catholics actually have a church. I think it's the Church of the Ascension or Ascension. claiming they got the spots where Jesus was born. We don't know that. I think the Catholics actually own something on what they call the Sinai Peninsula down in the triangle here, but that's not Mount Sinai. It's over the land of Midian, as the Bible states. There's a video you can watch, the search for the real Exodus, or the real Mount Sinai. And our Bibles have been telling us in the little maps where they crossed the Red Sea was way up north above the Red Sea portion, the Sea of Reeds, the Bitter Lakes region. No, they didn't cross there. They crossed over the Gulf of Aqaba, I believe it is, into Midian. There's relics down there. There's pillars down there that the Israelites erected to mark the event. But the Arabs control that land, so nobody could just sashay over there and see this stuff. At the base of Mount Sinai, there's a huge altar with cows inscribed all over it. And it's old, and it's weathered. And you look at Genesis, you look at Exodus, when Moses went up to the mountain, the Jews said, "Why is he so long in coming? Here, let's take our gold." And they fashioned a calf worship. Moses comes down and says, "What's this bleating of sheep? What's going on here?" "Oh, they threw the gold in the fire and out came this calf." You threw the gold in the fire and out came this calf. That's cute. No, you made an idol. And that's why there's cows inscribed on the stone. Yeah, look it up. Candace Owens, and that's really strange to me. Blacks don't typically align with Catholicism. That's very off the wall. You don't see blacks being Catholic. Catholicism has been a racist religion way back when it was controlling Europe. They hated the Jews. They made fun of them. They made them wear little hats and stuff. Oh yeah, people need to read their history. Read A Woman Rides the Beast by the late Dave Hunt. That'll give you a nutshell history of the Catholic Church from Constantine to the then present day Pope John Paul II. People need to do their research and they won't do it. You want to get into some exciting study? Study the connection of Satan all through the world. Start following things from the Tower of Babel, the plains of Shinar, with Nimrod and his religion of the penis. Read the book, The Religions of Petra. Or the book on Petra with a chapter, The Religions of Petra. And I'm reading about this. The Bible talks about that land. It's called Edom. Edom is a play on Esau because Esau was red and hairy. And Edom means red. And that's where Esau took off to. Petra is known in the Indiana Jones movie, The Raiders of the Lost Ark. The Cazenay, the Treasury Building, carved out of the side of canyon walls, cut out. A doorway like this, except you could put a doggone railroad train through it. Huge. They carved out the sandstone and built unbelievable. Hello, cheese. I haven't seen cheese in a long time. Thank you, Meme Galter. People need the truth. And people will come on and argue with me, but the truth is right there. You can check it. Go find the book Petra. Read about the religions of Petra. Read about how the author in Petra talks about the mosques and the churches and the Catholic churches and even the old Baptist and the old buildings and the architecture. The window goes up, mushroom head, penis. The doorways, the Gothic symbol, the Gothic arch. And it's in the mosques, and it's in churches, and it's in Catholic churches. Isn't that ironic? What is that? I love the Gothic arches. Oh, I think we all love the Gothic arch, especially the one between our legs. Yeah. Trace Nimrod. Talk about Nimrod. Easter. All this stuff has its roots. Catholicism has its roots in Nimrod's religions. Absolutely. Isn't the Vatican laid out from a helicopter view like a giant penis? Isn't there an obelisk in the middle of Vatican? In the what do you call it? The circle or whatever, and then it's scripted in what was the language back in Nimrod's day? Aramaic, I don't know what it was, but we dedicate these fallacies to the O Nimrod. It's written on the stone. Everybody likes sex. They just simply made a religion out of it. Easter has to do with female deities that were worshipped. Has not one thing to do with biblical Christianity. Christ Mass has nothing to do with biblical Christianity. It is a Catholic construct that at the time the Catholics were rampaging Europe and dominating everything, they had a problem with the winter solstice crowd. Pagans, revelry, drunkenness, open beds with families and children, and all kinds of carousing and crazy behavior. And the Catholic Church tried to arrest and rein that in and came up with Christ Mass. Christians don't celebrate Mass. Mass goes back to the false religions. The Catholics had a problem with the Protestant Reformation. People have been under oppressive control by the system of popes and bishops and all that. And when men set out to translate the scripture into English, the Catholic Church had a hissy fit. They wanted to be able to dispense the truth. They did not encourage people to read the Bible. They still don't to this day. They tell us the priest is supposed to give us the word. Go back and read in Deuteronomy. Teach these to your children. Write them on the doorposts of your house. We are told to put our faith in the word of God. The Catholics dispensed what they wanted, just like our news dispensed what they wanted you to believe. The Catholic Church is a fake religion, just like our media is fake news. And you can look it up. Don't believe it because I'm saying. People want to defend the Catholic Church. They do so only emotionally, not by fact. Not by biblical fact. And that's right. Who said that? KJ, yeah. Mary is not the co-redemptrix. Mary has no part of the redemption of Jesus Christ. She herself said in the Magnificat, I rejoice in God, my Savior. She never put herself on equal plane with him. Ever. She is not the mother of God. She never was. That is a Catholic lie. Read the story about the Huguenots, the Montanans, and the Anabaptists. Go back in history and read about those people that holed up in places like Austria and hid in the mountains. Catholic Church made fun of people that suddenly realized that baptism was supposed to be by immersion. They didn't like that. It's right there in the Bible. John the Baptist, Jesus went down into the water. And the Catholics would tie stones around these people and say, oh, you want to be baptized? And they'd throw them in the river and they'd sink. Read about it. Catholic Church has never been a good institution. It's an unholy bucket of satanic stuff. The popes were homosexual. They were screwing the nuns. They were doing all kinds of things. Even their church historians wrote about it. Wrote about it. Even as they were transcribing and writing down stuff for the church libraries, they said, we really are Babylon. Historians themselves were shocked at the decadence that the popes committed and wrote, I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Anybody who praises Catholicism is ignorant and lacks 100% any discernment. We don't preach Catholicism. What did Paul say? We preach Christ and Him crucified. When's the last time the Catholics talk about that? They got crucifixes with an emaciated thing stuck to it. I'm sorry, Catholics. My cross is empty. Jesus rose from the dead. Thank you very much. We don't need relics and figurines. We don't walk through a house with a crucifix and drive out the devil. We don't have the power to drive out the devil. Only God does. It says resist the devil. Does not say rebuke him. Even in Jude it says that Michael the archangel did not dispute with the devil. He said, the Lord rebuke you, not I. You got these silly southern gals. I just rebuked the devil. Yep. And that's why your Christianity is laughable. You have no power to tell the devil what to do. That devil knows the Bible more than any of us. Don't play with the devil. Resist him. Don't talk to him. Don't argue with him. Don't rebuke him. Hide yourself in God and say, God, I feel the presence of Satan. I need you. Let God deal with him. Now, the Roman Catholic Church. And the Roman Catholic Church is an offshoot of Roman culture. People were getting saved. Nero was killing Christians. Constantine had a so-called vision. In this sign, conquer the cross. Was Constantine a Christian? Don't know. Or did he just simply get religion? When you talk about the Antichrist, and you talk about Revelation and the one world government that's coming, you need to go back to the book of Daniel. And you need to read about that statue that one of the kings had a dream about. I'm still hungry, so I'm going to be a pig. And guess what? Guess what it says? The last kingdom is the one that's 10 toes, mixed with iron and clay. What's going on there? Many people believe that the Roman Empire never died. Look at the buildings in the United States. Look at the Capitol building. They got a rotunda. They got Corinthian capitals and columns. Our buildings and our courts are built off the Roman system of architecture. And a lot of our legislative, judiciary branch of government was formed after Rome. And Catholics, they're dead religion. They're not spirit-filled Christianity. They're dead religion. And watch this. People believe that the Roman Empire will be revived in the end days. Notice what's going on right now. All of a sudden, Catholicism is becoming big. Tehran, Iran is recognizing the Virgin Mary. Why? Because they're compatible with it. ISIS. Does anybody know what ISIS? Not the terrorist group. ISIS is a female deity. Go back and look. You see, all the false religions in the world are connected to the same satanic thread. The same, thank you, Cheryl, the same satanic thread. People think the Bible's boring. Yeah, that's because you don't know God. It's going to be boring if you don't know Him. But when you actually start to do a study, and you get out there and you see what's going on, oh, it's exciting. Things start to open up and things make sense, and now you can see it. You know, look at the kids today. Look at social media. Take a good look at them. Social media has captivated all of us. It has become the Pied Piper. You have to access your company email. You got to access your company paychecks, your pay stub, your holiday info, your PTO time. All can be done from your phone. You can do your online banking. You can book flights. You can buy stuff through Amazon. Guess what, folks? Get this straight. The world is ripe for being taken over. You got people wanting to vote in a communist Muslim mayor. They believe the Antichrist is going to bring prosperity for a short season. It says the whole world's going to go after him. People say, oh, it was Obama, it was Trump. Honey, none of those guys have that kind of charisma. It will seem like the Antichrist has supernatural power, but he doesn't. He has satanic power because God allows him to have it. Yeah, bus rides. You know, Mandami's an idiot. Who's paying for the bus? Is Mandami paying for it? No, the taxpayers are. And this is why socialism doesn't work. You make everybody slaves. You build those ugly looking Russian buildings side by side that are 20, 30 stories high. Move everybody into it. Make them a slave of the working machine to pay for the free benefits that they all get. Fun, huh? Welcome to Animal Farm. Wow, Madami is worth millions of dollars and has bodyguards and everything else. The day I see somebody promoting socialism, live like a true socialist, I will roll over and I will put my legs in the air like a cow. Because it doesn't happen. All these clowns that want to control you are sitting on piles of money, nice homes, everything, and they want to tell you why their belief system is better for you while you will never have what they have. If American people can't pull their head out of their collective ass cheeks and see that that's it, then you get what you deserve. Young people, your entitlement is going to kill you. Welcome to the slave machine. Welcome, Democrat Party, to embracing slavery because you're headed back there again. Keep voting Democrat. Michael believes in individual home ownership. Michael believes in lowering property tax so people can have a home, have property, grow a garden, and have freedom. Living in an apartment is not freedom. It is slavery. Go to work to pay exorbitant rent so you can hear your neighbors fighting and them having sex and flushing their toilet and their dogs yapping. What a world. What a world. I'm sick of it. Islam is a lie. Socialism is a lie. Everybody in charge of socialism is living great, except the ones underneath them. It is Amway again. And I said the same about corporate America. But I believe in free enterprise. I don't believe in corporate greed. And corporate America has got us used to buying so much crap and parting with our money. Man, I went to Lowe's the other day and I bought one stick of rough cut, splintered, you have to go through a pile, split and warped boards for stock. This stuff. This is not molding, by the way. I made it molding because molding, that fake plastic, fake wood with all the little lines and stuff in it, stuff is like $20 a foot. This is $4 for an 8-foot board. This stuff used to be cheap. Everything is ridiculous. This is bad lumber. But if I can find one that isn't split or cracked and put some stain on it, it looks great. It's rough. Don't go up and be slide your hand on there, you're going to get a bunch of splinters. When you live in a world where things are going high, I'm not going to make my home look like everybody else's with the little curved and cornice molding. Nobody looks at that. You go in these new houses, they're manufactured, slapped together slop. This is craftsmanship. And there's two groups of people in this country. Those that are boring as hell and buy the new homes, and those that like craftsmanship and charm and coziness and something that reeks of life and passion. Welcome to Michael Nelson's erotic trip. Eroticism is defined by many as wrong and bad and fleshly. Eroticism is what causes men to compose classical music. Au revoir. Da 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 da. Spanish man wrote that for his ailing wife. Compare that to Taylor Swift. And tell me what's beautiful and what's trash. These new homes, I could put my fist to the wall. I could kick the doors open, they're corridors. I could bust through a bedroom door and just go, bam, and it's done. You could bust through the front door. Have you seen these kids going there and they jump up and do a side kick and they're slamming the front doors open? Nice, huh? Your home is your castle, huh? Yep, built like Walmart. Big box. And you're paying $3,500 a month for a mortgage. Whee, isn't that fun? And silly, boring, plain Jane women that have no sex drive and no sex and just, oh, I love your home, with the big fake wreath on the front. Okay, that's what you want. America's headed to the sewer because people don't want passion anymore. People are prescriptive. People are professional. They want to buy a house that looks like everybody else's. They want to buy an SUV, and then they want to stand around the office. Oh, you bought the Highlander? Oh, I got mine too. Oh, wow, you both bought the same car. You're all getting an orgasm over the same ugly plastic tin-lined piece of crap. That's $80,000. Congratulations on your stupidity. I'd still rather have the M35A2 over that. Everybody looks at it. I got rid of it because I lost my job and I didn't know what was going to happen. Now I want a 5-ton. But I try to live practical. Diesel's expensive. I can't joyride that. You got these punks in the neighborhood that buy these Scat Pack cars. All they do is burn rubber and tear around. They don't have a girlfriend. They don't own a freaking house. They look like they need to take a shower and have it cleaned up. But no, they're showing off, making noise so that everybody can see how cool they are. Nobody in this neighborhood's got their lawn chairs out waiting for them to come by. Yeah, cool, do it again. This is the world that we live in. Rice rockets, noisy cars. Oh, I got nitrous. Who cares? You drive like an idiot. You make a bunch of noise. Where is that on the radar blip of eternity, dude? God saves us, and God believes in recycling. He doesn't throw us away. He saves us. He redeems us. Just like I've been doing with this house. I repurpose stuff. I pulled 2x4s out of this wall. Some were bent like a politician. Some were good. And I reused them. How many Democrats do that? They're all pushing Save the Earth. They all go buy new homes, new mansions with HVAC systems that cost more than my house. Give me a break. When people vote in a clown mayor of New York City thinking, oh yes, he's going to lower the rent. Kiss your paycheck goodbye. It will all go to the government to control you. Welcome to I Am Stupid. How may I direct your call? The Antichrist is going to make everybody forced to take a mark. Here or here. You know what this means? Loser. All who took the mark, their name is not in the Lamb's Book of Life. Boom! The Antichrist is going to be the true socialist until he stands up one day, says, everybody will worship me. And that's the point of Matthew 24 when he says, the Jews, if you're on the roof, don't go down to the house and get anything. And women, pray that you're not with a child. Pray that your flight be not on the Sabbath. Get out. Socialism is control Nazis. Every person that promotes socialism is a control freak. They're rich. Look at Adolf Hitler with his Fräuleins and his mountain cabins. Look at every world corrupt clown. They were rich. They ate the finest of the food while they ground the people to powder. This doesn't work, people. It's a lie. It's an illusion. If only everybody did have the same. But that's not the way it works. Remember Obama share the wealth? Did he share any of his wealth with anybody? No. My uncle said it well, and I'm going to quote him again. Michael, always remember the Democrats' motto is this: I got mine, screw you. That's it. That sums up every Democrat in Washington. I got my money, I got my house, booyah. They don't want me or you to have the power, the wealth, the real estate, the bank accounts that they have. Stop voting for these clowns. I just told you a fanciful story I was writing where I bought or built a house in Casiguran with the ladies, and we found a gemstone lode in the mountain behind the house, and I turned it over to the villagers, and the mayor said, I want the villagers to have a better standard of living. They can have it. Communism doesn't do that. Socialism doesn't do that. Jesus Christ has told us freedom is better than slavery. And if you're going to be a slave, there's only one form of slavery that Scripture supports. Be a slave to God. Not the system, not the world, not your employer, not your wife, not your husband, not your car, not your debt. Break the chains and be free. Being in debt is a slavery. Feeling the need to have a $500,000 house, you're a slave. Needing an SUV or an $80,000 Silverado, you are a slave. Are we firing on all 8 cylinders, or am I misfiring, folks? Am I a couple cylinders short of a plug? Communism wants to shackle you up. And they want to lead you in these to your demise. This clown in New York, and I would say it to his face, bring him on. Bring this mofo in my house. I will be no danger to him, and I'll tell this mom dummy, you are a fool. You did not learn from history. You don't know a thing about God. You don't know a thing about communism. You're a control freak. You're an idiot. And you're a liar and a deceiver of the people. You want to give them freebies at taxpayers' expense, you moron. You pay for it. You want people to have free busing? Take out of your bank account and give it to them. Ask not what your government can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. John F. Kennedy was a Democrat and said that. Oh, you've come a long way, baby. Today's generation thinks they're entitled. You see a black woman in a store who's this big around, got her lips poked out. They want to take my EBT. Trump's a racist. No, you're an entitled bitch. And I shouldn't have to pay for your obesity and your health problems because you take your kid in when it has a sniffle to the ER. I'm paying for that, not you. Stop oppressing me. Stop butchering my paycheck to pay for your bullshit. Whew, baby, let's say it. Franny's going to go take a video of the snow. That's cute. Go make snow angels, Franny. Tegan, I'm concerned about what happened in London. Letting all those Muslims in have been highly destructive. A 12-year-old girl in the country has to walk to school carrying an axe and a knife. That's all I need to see to know that that's a problem. But no, these idiots, you can't have girls walking around with weapons. Well, then get these clowns out of here that are molesting and grabbing their butt cheeks and coming on to them. I'll tell you what. Why is it that white people in England, in Paris, in America are on self-destruct mode? What is going on? They want more abortions. They want less children. The horny Muslims are making children like nobody's business. The horny black community is making children like nobody's business that the government's running and raising. And white people, well, we're not going to have kids anymore. Now they want his and hers SUVs and Land's End and North Face jackets and their frappe latte and caca latte for $8 a cup. $8 a cup. By the way, did you know there's no nutritional value in a Starbucks product? Paying to piss it out like beer. Smart people, huh? An SUV. If you want to talk about how dumb people are, just look at the SUV. Stupid. I've said it and I'll say it again. SUVs are driven by assholes. Every time I see an SUV, they drive like an ass. Speed limit doesn't matter. Turn signals, not going to use them. Tailgate, too fast for the conditions. Yeah. And they're expensive. And they're a blind spot. When I was a kid, you had a pickup truck for work, or to haul the camper or make dump runs, and you had a car. Now you got people buy a truck and put a cover on it and never use the bed at all. Smart people. Smart people. Blowing their money down the hole in interest payments to have a truck that's never used as a truck again. It's got more seating capacity for passengers than it has room for a sheet of 8-foot by 4-foot plywood. Tell us we're not retarded. You can't get an 8-foot bed anymore. Then, they got rid of the bench seat. They don't want too close to your wife. Look at what women are doing. Oh my gosh, he looked at me, he's stalking. Then he glanced at you. What is wrong with that? You want us to look at men? Yes. They want us to be gay. They don't want us to reproduce. They want men to be with men, women to be with women. They want to destroy the family. And they want to get us to believe that socialism, communism, and all this other ethnic bullshit is good for us. Do you not see what's happening? We're being brainwashed, desensitized. And you go to work every day, and every time you go to spend your paycheck, you go to the store and you go, what the hell is my grocery bill? $87. And they go up 20 cents a week, every item. Walmart. CEO said, due to all the theft in the nation, I am raising my prices. The CEO is doing what Van Downey's doing. If landlords charge high rent, the state will take the building. If ghetto-ass people rob the stores, we're going to make hardworking people that don't steal pay for that. Congratulations, Walmart. You're encouraging the rest of us to steal eventually. You keep rising the prices, we'll be forced to steal. The Bible talks about that. What was it? Somebody in the Psalms prayed, Lord, make me not rich that I forget you, but make me not so poor that I have to steal to eat. Guess what our corporate world's doing to us? Up the butt cheeks. In and out, in and out, in and out. I'm sorry I'm being vulgar, but we need to make a point. Let me run New York City. I don't want to live there. I hate that place. I wouldn't want anything to do with it. But if there was a groundswell and they said, Michael, we want you to run it. Oh, baby. I'm buying a deuce, and I will drive to town with a big, giant 12-foot flag unfurled out the back with an air horn. Making New York City smart again. I would figure it out if I have enough time. Jeff, how come you're not interested in content? Why are you, grown man, looking at my clothing? Are you into gay men? Because I'm not gay. Focus on the content, not my outfit. This is called a style. My name is Michael Nelson. I'm not like everybody else. Leave that alone. That's none of your business. New York City, California, Michigan, they voted in clowns to run the show. Beans and rice works, man. Jeff, because I like it. Is there anything wrong with this? And it wasn't a tank. I cut the bottom off. I like to do things that are not conventional because I'm an individual. Do you hear what I'm talking about? Socialist wants to make everybody march to the beat of the same drum. Michael Nelson will not. I will go to my death being a free-spirited individual. I don't care if Christians find this offensive. I don't care. I find most Christians aren't challenging the world around them. They're not putting content out here like I am. They're not saying it like it is. They're afraid. They don't want to be persecuted. They want to be liked. And they worry about my shirt. For the love of God, people, get a grip. It's an article of clothing. I don't think it promotes wackiness. But that's how you see it, and I can't change that. I've heard that meme. Because it's a toilet. New York used to be a great place. Remember when Giuliani was mayor? He cut the crime down by a massive margin. That's right, Jess. You know, when the white girls started dyeing their hair outrageous colors and getting nipple piercings, ear piercings, lip piercings, they thought they were being original until they all started doing it. People copycat. And I know for a fact, to all of the detractors and people that question, hey, Moises, how are you? Hello, Linda, how are you doing? And Backwoods, what's up, man? Why is it, if I was to become a celeb, if I was to become famous, my clothing, I could label it and market it, and it would sell. People would buy these. Oh, that's what he wears. If you think I'm wrong, I wish it would happen. I wish I could prove prove the point. I became a top celeb in the movies and acting. People would be wanting to wear the chain. They'd want the tops. They'd try to copy that. Look at this crap you buy at the store, Abercrombie and Fitch. What's the other one? Aeropostale. Why do people get caught up in that? I'll buy an Aeropostale shirt if it's totally on sale, but I ain't paying Aeropostale aerospace prices for it. Why? That's stupid. It's a t-shirt, man. Calvin and Kling. Showing a man that doesn't look like most American males with a rippling chest and biceps laying next to a woman that doesn't look like most American women. Big tots laying down like this and being sexy on each other. That's not the world I see on a daily basis. But guess what? The teens and all the kids buy this and go, wow, I'm cool. I'm wearing Calvin Klein. No, you're stupid. Corporate America got you sucker punched. Michael creates his own style and it's off the wall. I'm wacky. I'm weird. There's something wrong with me. You ever looked at the men that actually design the fashions that people wear in Paris? Look at some of that clothing. It's pretty daring and bold. People are funny. They don't see their own ridiculousness in this. They just see me and go, oh my gosh. Proof that people are sheep. Proof that people are owned by a mentality. They're owned by what everybody else does. I think one of the ugliest brands of clothing out there is the one with the very strange H for Hurley. Men buy the Hurley shirts. Why? They're ugly. The H is ugly. It's like I said about Ford trucks. Toyota. For a long time, you had this sticker on the back of the bed that said TRD, which stood for Toyota Racing Development, on a pickup truck. And I started saying that stands for totally retarded driver, because every time I see somebody and knows they can't drive. And Ford with their F-by-4. What grade are we in, people?
Look, I bought an F-by-4.
Look at British cars. Look at them. Look at cars that have a reputation. A Rolls and a Bentley. I'm a Rolls Royce in stickers. We're gay over here and we think we're cool. So people will judge my clothing and say, what the hell? Why would you buy a truck with big stickers? F-by-4. Billy, that's an F-by-4. How about if you build a truck that doesn't have any of that? That has an 8-foot bed, that looks quality, that's got an emblem that stands the test of time. Boom, can I have an amen? But no, we got stickers on everything, because why? We go to American cities.
Oh, I love going to LA and Atlanta.
Billboards all over the place, big, ugly billboards. Well, I don't know about Atlanta so much, but LA. Talk about eyesore. Strip malls, shopping centers, ugly, ugly, ugly. One-use buildings, and when the merchant moves out, they sit there. And it's got graffiti, and the windows are busted out. Yeah, we're bright people, aren't we? So people that judge me for my styles come and go. But you will spend your life trying to win the approval of other people, copycatting, buying the same stuff, getting in debt for the same things, grabbing your $8 wasty latte. Yeah, my truck is a what? 6.5-foot bed? What is the point? Now you got to buy a plastic liner for your bed. Now you got to buy all these things to protect your truck. Guess what? That truck you bought is not going to be rolling in 25 years. The stuff is designed to wear out, break. The sun and the weather will rot the parts. I'm seeing trucks and cars I grew up on when I had Facebook in the marketplace. They sat in people's yards for 20 years and stuff is rotting. There's mold. The rag top is destroyed. The seats are destroyed. This is a great classic. No, it was, buddy. You let it rot for 20 years and now you want $8,000, $9,000 and nobody's going to buy it. It needs new everything. You might as well just build a brand new car. People are stupid and they laugh at me constantly. I find that just such a dichotomy. Backwoods, where are you at again? Yeah, Mr. Kindly, I miss my long hair. I'm not going to deny it. I'm still going through a grieving process. I have to go get ready for church, folks. Thank you for listening. Communism and Islam is not good for any society, let alone America. But the beauty of America is you can be dumb if you want to. You can say you're intelligent. You can vote Democrat, and when things go wrong, you can blame Donald Trump. Never take responsibility for your stupid actions alone. Finger point, blame, assess. You know, that Democrats are clearly self-evident, and they don't see it. When are we going to understand blindness is not the ability with your eyes to not see. It is a brain malfunction that cannot see what you're doing by voting in this crap. Linda, boy, that's a hard one. I like old hymns. Mighty Fortresses, My God is one of my favorites. O come, Emmanuel. By the way, that is not a Christmas hymn at all, contrary to popular belief. O come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel has come to thee, O Israel. I like John Michael Talbot's music. He is a Catholic, and I don't agree with that. But his music is point on. I like, there's within my heart a melody. Jesus whispers sweet and low. Fear not, I am with thee, peace be still. In all of life's ebb and flow. I don't like this repetitive, cheesy, hand-clapping 7-11 choruses, sing the same 7 words 11 times. I don't like it. Modern Christian music has taken a dive. I'd rather listen to ELO and Duran Duran and America and the music I listen to than half of this so-called blended stuff. I can't get into it. You know what? Thank you, Erica. Thank you for coming, you guys. We'd like to fire it up. But the takeaway today is Islam and communism is not of God. It is not good. It is not productive. It has not benefited anybody except the clowns that are at the head of the organizations. And I talk about false religions. But let me say something. All false religion is false. But Islam, they're very aggressive, very dangerous and harmful. The Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses are not going to take AK-47s and bring down airplanes. They're not going to fly buildings into the trade towers. Hindus and Buddhists aren't either, but Muslims, they're a problem. They're violent. They're wicked. They're control Nazis. Mamdani is a control freak. And I promise you that his income will not be equal to the people he wants to oppress, suppress, and control. Always remember that when you vote in these satanic, demonic, possessed leaders. They are not living the standard that you are. You're being lied to. Everybody wants socialism, but it has never existed to date that it worked. Because number one, the leaders who push it don't live under the same rules. They live as capitalist pigs. They are free enterprise. They mass amounts of money, live in the nicest buildings, have the finest food. Hold these people accountable. You vote for socialism, make them ride the bus. Make them work a sweaty job just like you. Make them live in the row housing in Russia that they promoted for you to live in. Man, people, you got to start pulling your head out. I don't need an education in a college to outperform people that sit on the staff of the New Yorker or the New York Times. Educated people come up with that crap. But there's freedom in Christ, and if you use the brain God gives you, you can outsmart every one of these educated fools going to hell. These voters are wrong, folks. Man, Dammy is energized by the devil. He's arrogant. He's a liar. He submits to the father of lies. There is no Allah. He's a clown wearing a suit. Again, confirming those that dress for success are the ones buffaloing you and screwing the pooch. What is hell? It's the eternal place of suffering, otherwise known as the lake of fire, where the worm dieth not, weeping and gnashing of teeth, total separation from God and anybody else. AC/DC said, well, at least when we go to hell, we'll be there with our friends. No, you won't. Each person will be suffering individually with nobody. It's not a party. Choose wisely if you choose to reject Jesus and believe in falsehoods. Make sure you do your research on Islam. Does it give you peace? Does it give you forgiveness of sins? Did Allah rise from the dead 3 days later? Did he shed his blood for you? No! Muslims are shedding everybody else's blood for Allah. What kind of a God is that? Our God does not tell us to kill people and sacrifice our children to Molech or Allah. He tells us to put ourselves on the altar and let our bodies be a living sacrifice. And we can't even do that. Don't get me fired up, people. You may not be able to shut it off. Are you serious, mean? Rib cages. What is it about middle school girls? They always come up with some little thing they think is the standard. Young lady, there's only one standard. It isn't middle schoolers. It's the Almighty, everlasting God, the Ancient of Days, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the wonderful Counselor, the Prince of Peace. I don't know. Bragg is asking endless questions about hell. I don't know where it is. Do you have a GPS? Can you locate it for me? Where's heaven? Where are you? I don't see you. Do you exist? Are you not? Are you an AI? Are you a bot? Hell exists and so does heaven. Meanwhile, we're on earth. Till then. Well, backwards hell is not the same. Your worst day on earth is going to be heaven compared to 1 minute in hell. Your worst day on earth is going to be heaven compared to 1 minute in hell. Jesus, because I like to wear unique tops. I like to be Michael Nelson and not like everybody else. All right, I got to go, folks. Thank you for listening. It's been fun. 49 likes today. I'm going to reiterate to my faithful, if Southern Blue Eyes will give me a cash app. She said her power will be shut off on Monday. She couldn't pay her power bill. I would like to, if we get a Cash App address, if all of us could chip in and help her meet that power bill. I'll tell her to give me a Cash App, tell me what the bill is for. And if I can get that, I'll post it in a post. I'm asking the men and women, this isn't for me. I want you to send it to her direct. You know, if everybody gave $10 or $20, this should be a team effort. And I want to include people in that, because if nobody's going to pay to watch my channel, which they're paying Toilet Seat and Ewu and Mr. Triangle in the shower, jump, at least pay people that are struggling to make their daily provision. She's a single mother. I don't know all the particulars. And we do it once. We're not going to do it all the time. Hi, Mara. Mara, are you Southern? You're Southern Blue Eyes. What is your, hold on, let me get a pencil. What is your Cash App, Mara? Do you have a Cash App? Thank you, Erica, and I appreciate Anton LaVey is a demon. Didn't he write the Satanic Verses? Or no? No, Alistair McCrowley is on the album cover of the Beatles, the Sgt. Pepper and Lonely Hearts Club, and he was also looking over the balcony in the album that had Hotel California by the Eagles. Well, thank you, Jesus. Hey, we tell the truth here. I don't want this to be a distraction. Michael's just odd. We're not worried about you paying us back. Mara, do you have a Cash App? Can you put it in the room so I know where to direct people? And I will contribute something as well. I don't want people sending the money to me. I have no problem, but I'd rather you guys send directly to her. That way everything's on the... I wouldn't steal anything given towards somebody, but I'd rather people donate to the people so they know their money's going directly to them. Michael is not into stealing, okay? Michael's not into getting glory. I want our channel to be different than every channel out there. We want to help people who have problems and at least show Christian love. Because when we talk about these things, I want people to go, man, I don't agree with this guy, but these people love each other. They will know we are Christians by our love. Don't put the $, just put it. We know about the $. Come on, put it up there, put it up there. Mara, 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 Mara. We care, Mara. And I'm not doing this to grandstand. I saw your comment. I don't need you freezing in your place. All right, hold on. L, is that a capital or does that matter? Oh, is that a 0 or a letter O? I need help with this one. Because one wrong one, it won't go through. 0. So L, capital L, 3, lowercase g, 0, SHI. All right, folks. I'm going to kick it off right now. I'm sending her $10. Got to go. Bye. Everybody chip in. Let's do it. I'm out of here.